the most distinguished and handsome young master of the Sia family in the capital. He has nothing to do with me. But one day he suddenly grabbed my sleeve, his eyes red. There's still time. We haven't divorced yet. In this life, let's start over. I was chewing on a braised pork knuckle, stunned, and said, but I wasn't planning to marry you anyway. Sia Hanwin, flawless like a beautiful jade, making people covetous. He is the ideal husband for countless young ladies waiting to be married. Among them is my elder sister, Chinmanly. She said that young Master Sia would surely reach the highest ranks in the future, and she must compete for him. But Sia Hanwin, with his jade-like face and cold demeanor, showed no warmth to anyone. One day, my elder sister accidentally fell into the water. When she woke up, she suddenly slapped me and said, "You foolish romantic. You are not allowed to like Sia Hanwin. You are not allowed to marry him." I looked at her bewildered. It's one thing to scold yourself, but why hit me? Besides, Sia Hanwin isn't someone I can marry just because I want to. The Sia family is a prestigious family with a century-old heritage. Even princesses may not be able to marry into it. Before I could regain my senses, my legal mother had already pulled my elder sister out. Dare to hit your sister? I think you've lost your mind. Your sister hasn't even come of age yet. My elder sister suddenly burst into laughter. Good. That's great. She laughed until tears almost came out. She got up, her clothes still wet, and came to hug me. Truly, God has opened his eyes. My Suzu hasn't come of age yet. In this life, I won't let you marry that scoundrel again. My elder sister pulled me and my legal mother into the room, dismissing the servants. After taking a deep breath, she slowly began to speak. She said she was reborn. In her previous life, she tripped at a banquet and fell directly into Sia Hanwin's arms, only to see Sia Hanwin's graceful demeanor, his eyebrows and eyes like a painting. He instinctively caught her, and they spun around on the spot. Then both fell to the ground, her on top, him below. Sia Hanwin wasn't moved. She wasn't moved either, but Sia's mother was moved. She saw how she knocked Sia Hanwin to the ground, very robust. She was plump and round with a big face and big hips, good for childbearing. The Sia family had only one heir in each generation and didn't allow concubines, so the lineage was thin. Thus, she overruled all objections and proposed marriage to my family. Years after marriage, Sia Hanwin gave her a divorce letter. He said there was no romantic affection between them. Hearing this, I nodded and said it was expected. Sia Hanwin and I really don't seem like people who could live together. My legal mother suddenly asked, "Did Suzu have any children?" My elder sister paused and said, "Yes, 3. They all stayed with the Sia family." In shock, the braised pork knuckle in my hand fell onto my elder sister's skirt. The new skirt was instantly greasy and fragrant. Instead of blaming me, my elder sister tenderly cradled my not-so-small head. 3 pieces of roast pork? Let's not mention it. Finally, under the stern gaze of my legal mother and elder sister, I knelt and swore. In this life, I'd rather marry a pig than marry Sia Hanwin. I'd rather go through menopause than give birth to roast pork. Several months later, my elder sister took me everywhere with her, avoiding any occasion where Sia Hanwin might appear. It was unnecessary. Sia Hanwin and I were worlds apart. He was the young master of the Sia family, close to the emperor, a favored child of heaven. I was a half-legitimate daughter of the Chin family, plain-looking, lazy, and indulgent. In the past, when we met at banquets, he was always the center of attention, never sparing a glance for me in the corner. Besides, it's been years, and Sia Hanwin has always said he doesn't like me, even if we did run into each other. So what? My elder sister said meaningfully. You're young and don't understand. Even if he doesn't like you, it doesn't stop him from sleeping with you for 7 years. At this, she snorted, seeming even more disgusted with Sia Hanwin. If he has also been reborn, he might just harm you again. The matter of rebirth isn't like gaining a pound of flesh. It doesn't happen just because you want it to. Not everyone gets it. At that time, I scoffed at the idea. Along the way, we encountered noble women we used to be at odds with. My elder sister, contrary to her usual self, greeted them with a smile. After those noble women left, my elder sister sighed. A whole lifetime, like a dream. They are all women of unfortunate fates. But when she heard a relative of the Sia family had sent a girl here, her face darkened. That family lived far away in the south. Their fortunes had declined. Thick-skinned, they sent their daughter of marriageable age to the capital, hoping to make a good match. The girl, named Chinsu, was delicate and frail, but stood with her back straight, seemingly full of pride, making her especially endearing. Sia Hanwin's kind-hearted mother took her in. My elder sister rolled her eyes. She didn't say anything. I wasn't interested in asking. Spring days linger. Spring scenes flourish. Good days pass quickly. In the blink of an eye, it was the day my elder sister had been guarding against, the Empress Dowager's birthday banquet. I had a ribbon tied around my waist, the other end held tightly by my elder sister. She watched the water clock, calculating the time I and Sia Hanwin had run into each other in the past life. After a while, she let out a long breath. It seemed the time had passed. I was suffocating. The ribbon around my waist was untied. I went to the restroom, but just around the corner, I saw someone. A gentleman as elegant as jade. So handsome it made one forget everything else. The moment he saw me, his eyes were dazed for a moment. As I passed by him, he called out to me, "Chinsu, do you dislike me so much that you won't even look at me?" I turned back in confusion, meeting the gaze of that young man. I saw him frown and say, "Why do you pretend with me? You've deliberately avoided meeting me many times, just so you wouldn't see me like in the past life, right? Too bad you didn't get your wish." Hearing these words, I suddenly understood. So this was Sia Hanwin. He looked like a celestial being. My elder sister was wrong. It wasn't him who slept with me for 7 years. It was I who slept with him for 7 years. Seeing me silent, Sia Hanwin's voice turned colder. "Do you avoid me like the plague? Won't even say a word to me?" His clenched hand's knuckles turned white. His sharp eyes fell on me, full of dissatisfaction. I really needed to pee, man. And my elder sister doesn't agree with me talking to you. I ran off, leaving Sia Hanwin behind me, saying, "Chinsu, as a married couple, even if I have wronged you, can't we at least be friends?" His figure was slender, standing there with a hint of grievance. I really didn't understand what he wanted. Did he just want to be friends with me? After returning to the banquet, I honestly reported meeting Sia Hanwin. My elder sister crushed her wine cup, sneering repeatedly. Her murderous gaze pierced through the curtain separating the men's and women's seats. On the other side of the curtain, not far away, was a graceful figure in white. It was obvious it was Sia Hanwin. I buried my head in my food, not daring to breathe. After the banquet had gone on for a while, a woman arrived late. She was as delicate as a willow, bowing gracefully, causing the men's side to fall silent for a moment. She introduced herself. It was Honu. She was very eloquent, soon earning the praises of several noble women. Everyone praised her as a talented woman. Shin Xiu quickly said, "In terms of talent, I am not a tenth of my cousin. I haven't seen my cousin since arriving. When I was in the south, I heard my cousin was exceptionally talented, a rare man in the world, making me admire him. If only I could meet him." Her voice was clear, unhurried. Behind the curtain, the person in white paused in raising his cup. Clearly, these words reached Sia Hanwin's ears. My elder sister snorted softly. Pretentious. Suddenly, a light bulb went off in my head. Could it be she was the reason Sia Hanwin and I divorced? This suspicion was further confirmed when Sia Hanwin stopped my elder sister and me. He said, "Chinsu, you didn't trouble Shinju just now, did you?" I already said, "It has nothing to do with her." Before I could speak, my elder sister pulled me behind her. Her acting was impeccable, leaving no room for error. Her face showed a mix of confusion, anger, protectiveness, and a hint of fear. Mr. Sia, how can you call my sister by her name so directly? My sister is not yet married, and if her reputation is tarnished because of this, what should we do? Sia Hanwin was taken aback. He had come in a hurry, and only now realized that it was no longer the past life. His gaze circled my face several times, unable to discern any expression other than the confusion of what madness is this person having. Please, Mr. Sia, have some self-respect. With that, my elder sister was about to pull me away. Sia Hanwin instinctively reached out to grab my sleeve. I jumped 8 feet away, scurrying to the other side of my elder sister like a chick hiding behind a mother hen. Sia Hanwin's face stiffened. Do you dislike me touching you so much? I nodded firmly, without hesitation. With a stern face, Sia Hanwin said, Then these 7 years sharing a bed with me must have been really hard for you. As soon as he finished speaking, my elder sister slapped him across the face. My elder sister was furious and said, Ridiculous. Mr. Sia, if you continue to ruin my sister's reputation, I will definitely report you to the authorities. Sia Hanwin's head tilted to one side. It seemed my elder sister used all her strength, showing no mercy. Before Sia Hanwin could react, my elder sister and I took the opportunity to walk away. After this incident, Sia Hanwin seemed to believe that I had not been reborn. He sent someone to apologize and offered gifts, saying he had been drunk and confused that day. The gift was a jade bracelet worth a fortune, as expected of the young master of the Sia family. Sia Hanwin was truly generous. But my elder sister said, What bad luck. In the past life, you gave him 3 sons, and he never gave you anything. He even said that as the madam of the Sia family, you could have any jewelry you wanted without him giving it to you. Yet he turned around and bought many things for that cousin. Now he's putting on a show. I had the bracelet pawned and exchanged it for silver. That way, it wouldn't be unlucky. A few days later, Sia Hanwin came to see me again, saying he wanted to apologize in person. Of course, I didn't agree. My elder sister said, We've accepted Mr. Sia's gift. There's no need for a face-to-face apology. Let's just let this matter pass. But Sia Hanwin was not willing to give up. Perhaps he wanted to confirm whether I had really been reborn. The next time he came to the door, my elder sister turned him away. Through the door he said, Miss Chin, I sincerely apologize. May I have the honor of meeting you? My elder sister raised her voice and said, Mr. Sia, my sister already has someone in her heart and has no intention of meeting you. If you continue to affect my sister's reputation. Sia Hanwin's voice abruptly disappeared. My elder sister, fearing he wouldn't believe it, continued, That person will soon come to propose. Mr. Sia, please leave quickly. There was silence outside the door for a long time. Before Sia Hanwin left, he said, There's no need to make such excuses, Miss Chen. If you don't want to meet, then so be it. I owe you. And if you ever need my help in the future, I will do my utmost. This owing naturally did not refer to those 2 offensive words from a few days ago. It was about those 7 years in the past life. After that day, Sia Hanwin did not appear again. My elder sister was still not at ease. She pulled our legal mother, truly starting to look for a suitable man for me. At the same time, in the tea house, people were talking about Sia Hanwin and Shinji Shu. Shinji Shu was harassed by hooligans and Sia Hanwin happened to pass by, heroically saving the beauty. Shin Xiu was moved to tears and gifted him poetry. Sia Hanwin cherished the beauty, and in the following days, the two were seen together attending banquets. Meanwhile, I met several men, but none caught my eye. My elder sister was persistent, asking me what exactly I was dissatisfied with. I couldn't say, only that they were not as important as braised pork knuckles. Perhaps there was no spark. After pondering for a few days, my elder sister sent someone to the south to find a man with the surname Wei. She said that Wei Nongfang would come to the capital to take the imperial exam in a few years. Later, when I lived alone after divorce, he happened to live next door and took good care of me. She said that at that time she had already gone to another place with her husband's family and was not clear about the specifics between me and Wei Nongfang. Although his family background is a bit lacking, if you truly like him, I will definitely help you. I responded with little interest. I thought he was a poor scholar, but when the person was really brought before me, I was so shocked that my jaw dropped. The meeting place was in a lakeside pavilion. The man was 8 feet tall, wearing a short jacket. His exposed arms were muscular, with a broad back and narrow waist, tall and strong. A simple, honest smile on his dark face, revealing a mouthful of gleaming white teeth. When he smiled, seeing my daze, my elder sister added, "A martial arts champion." After saying this, my elder sister gracefully left, leaving only me in a stupor. The atmosphere became awkward. After a while, Wei Nongfang pointed at the empty plate and spoke. He stuttered, but said something surprising. "Miss Chin, you can really eat. You're amazing." It was the first time someone praised me like that. I shyly smiled. "Thank you. I think so too." I reached for another piece of pastry but found nothing. Awkwardly withdrawing my hand, I drank some tea, touched the bracelet, and fiddled with my hairpin. Suddenly, the pearl on my hairpin fell off. I watched as it rolled into the lake. Before I could react, Wei Nongfang jumped in without a word. The sound of him hitting the water was like a giant stone cannonball. Water splashed all over my face. The maid hurried to find help, and I leaned over the lake, calling Wei Nongfang's name. In no time, a hand with distinct joints emerged from the water, firmly gripping the shore. With a splash, Wei Nongfang shot out like a black fish, almost colliding with me, who was staring at the lake. His short jacket had come undone, and water droplets trickled from his sharp jawline over his bulging chest muscles and firm abs. For some reason, it made people blush. I quickly said, "It's okay if you can't find it. I have many hairpins." Wei Nongfang laughed like a dog seeking praise. He opened his palm, revealing the small pearl. "Here you go." In my mind, a roast suckling pig exploded, and I stared at him dumbfounded. He seemed more enticing than braised pork knuckles. Time seemed to stand still. The maids watched from afar, not daring to disturb. It was at this moment that Sia Hanwin appeared. Sia Hanwin, awakening from a dream. The thunder roared. Sia Hanwin suddenly woke up. He clutched his chest, listening to the sound of rain outside. He dreamt of his past life. He proposed a divorce. Chinsu did not cling. He breathed a sigh of relief. The day after the divorce, he went as usual to pay respects to his mother. His mother refused to see him. She was still angry. She liked Chinsu as her daughter-in-law, but since Sia Hanwin had decided on the divorce, it must have been something he had thought about for a long time, with no room for turning back. Chinsu called him over, more tender and affectionate than usual. Her cheeks flushed, makeup exquisite, eyes sparkling. Sia Hanwin felt a slight stir in his heart, but with work being busy, he didn't linger. He and Chinsu were innocent. When he proposed the divorce, he told Chinsu as much. They were confidants, friends, not in any sordid relationship. Chinsu's elder sister, Chin Manli, specifically wrote a letter to scold him and Shinji. When the servant handed him the letter, he opened it for a glance. The letter was full of curses, written with powerful strokes, completely unlike something a long-term ill person could write. The second month after the divorce, Chinsu still did not appear. Sia Hanwin had already gotten used to such days. Except when changing clothes, he subconsciously called out Chinsu. Naturally, no one responded. The maids didn't dare to answer either. The second year after the divorce, Sia Hanwin suddenly thought of Chinsu again. It was the 5th time this month he had thought of Chinsu. Not many, but the month had only just begun. The dishes on the table were very plain. This was his dietary preference. Unlike Chinsu, who liked rich foods, it wasn't just dietary preferences. In many ways, he and Chinsu were different. They were not of the same path at all. He frowned and said, "Why is there no braised pork this way?" Chinsu wouldn't have enough to eat. After speaking, he was stunned himself. Just then, a servant said Shu requested to see him. Sia Hanwin instinctively said, "What is she here for?" The servant was a bit puzzled. In the past, when the cousin came to see Sia Hanwin, she never stated a reason, and Sia Hanwin would let her in. The servant quickly said, "I'll go ask her." Sia Hanwin waved his hand.
Don't ask.
Let her go. I don't have time to see her. These days, Shinju came every few days. It was naturally nothing urgent, either to discuss poetry with him or to care about him adding clothes in the cold, gentle and considerate. If he were to remarry, it should be to such a woman, not like Chinsu. He thought so before proposing the divorce, and he still thought so now. When he went out, he heard someone gossiping. That young widow on East Street remarried. Sia Hanwin stopped in his tracks. How could a widow remarry? He seemed to have never thought that Chinsu would remarry. That night, he finally couldn't resist sending someone to inquire about Chinsu's recent situation. The servant who returned said Chinsu was no longer in the capital. The eldest daughter of the Chin family, who lived alone in Q City for years to recuperate, suddenly passed away 3 months ago. And the second daughter of the Chin family went to attend the funeral. Her neighbors said the second daughter of the Chin family had no plans to return, and she didn't leave alone. Sia Hanwin broke the brush. She wouldn't come back. That night, he sat until dawn. He couldn't understand. How could Chinsu be so heartless? Heartless enough not to look at him even once for so long. Heartless enough to leave without their 3 sons? Just like that, leaving with someone else? No matter how much she hated him, she was the children's mother. She shouldn't be so cold. A big dream. Fortunately, it was just a dream of the past life. He would not delay Chinsu anymore. Chinsu would not hate him either. He didn't believe Chinsu wasn't reborn. If she wasn't reborn, how could she avoid meeting him again and again? Of course, he also avoided her in the same way, with the emotional foundation of the past life. Although they couldn't be husband and wife, they could be friends or confidants. Just like in the dream with Shinji Shu. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but smile. Chinsu and the word confidant seemed to not fit together at all. But he was somewhat fond of the way she quietly listened to him while stuffing food into her mouth. Thinking about it, being confidant friends with her should be a good experience. But why did he always want to find her? The banana leaves swayed. Drip, drip. The rain fell until dawn. At dawn, he decided to go look for Chinsu. The blush on my face had not yet faded. When I saw Wei Nongfang, Sia Hanwin's eyes suddenly filled with anger. With a tone of resentment, he said, "In our past life, when I proposed divorce, you didn't hesitate at all. Had you already set your heart on someone else?" Sia Hanwin's eyes turned red, as if he had suffered a great emotional wound. But my elder sister clearly told me it was he who fell in love with someone else. Sia Hanwin didn't marry me out of love. He disliked that I couldn't play the zither, chess, calligraphy, or painting and couldn't compose poetry with him. For the first 2 years, every time we shared a bed, he acted like he was going to battle with a terribly grim face. Fortunately, later he seemed to enjoy it. Or perhaps he just got used to it. Sia Hanwin and I ended up with 3 sons. In contrast, Shinji Shu was different from me. She seemed like a wife tailor-made for him, fitting his every desire. According to my elder sister, I was madly in love with Sia Hanwin. The first time I caught Sia Hanwin and Shin Shihu drinking together under the moon, I sensed something was off. Sia Hanwin didn't offer me a single explanation. Once there was a first time, there was a second, a third, countless times. Sometimes it was in the plum garden on the outskirts of the city, sometimes at the poetry club, always in elegant places. They were confidants, smiling at each other. They might not have gone that far yet. So when Sia Hanwin proposed divorce, he was very self-righteous. He said he hadn't done anything to wrong me, nor had Shin Shishu. They were both innocent. He just realized his true feelings and didn't love me anymore. My 3 sons said Aunt Shin was more like the matriarch of a grand family than I was, and I was simply too unpresentable. And so, I signed the divorce agreement. The day I left the Sia family, not a single person saw me off. I was shocked when I heard. I couldn't imagine I would fall in love with someone like Sia Hanwin. Could it be that feelings are developed through sleeping together? Then this time, I won't sleep with him no matter what. At this moment, Sia Hanwin wanted to say something, but I grabbed Wei Nongfang and ran. My elder sister said any interaction with Sia Hanwin must be in her presence. Since she wasn't here, I naturally couldn't pay him any attention. Wei Nongfang, despite his large build, was very obedient and didn't ask a single question. As we ran, he hoisted me onto his shoulder. Wherever I pointed, he ran. I took a moment to glance back at Sia Hanwin. He stood there alone, like an abandoned dog. Back at the Chin family, my elder sister asked Wei Nongfang, "What do you think of our Suzu?" Wei Nongfang's dark face turned red, looking both rustic and handsome. "The second young lady is the best." My elder sister nodded in satisfaction and then questioned him thoroughly. She confirmed that his parents were deceased. He was of clean background, had no childhood betrothals, no childhood sweethearts, no female cousins, and no unrequited loves. I was left dumbfounded. After receiving satisfactory answers, my elder sister said to Wei Nongfang, "In the future, I will use Suzu's pocket money to support you. After you achieve top honors, you must repay her 1,000-fold. As for whether you repay with money or something else, that's for you two to discuss." Saying this, she had someone bring out a contract. Before I could react, Wei Nongfang had already signed and sealed it. After Wei Nongfang left, I gathered the courage to speak. "Sister, I didn't. When he came, you even forgot to eat your braised pork and vegetable bun. What else is there to see?" I twisted my handkerchief and said, "I just thought he looked big and strong, with a crispy exterior, like he would be very tasty. Could this be what joy feels like?" In Wei Nongfang's eyes, do I also look like a steamed bun? My elder sister left with an indescribable expression. I originally thought that someone as aloof as Sia Hanwin, seeing that I ignored him, wouldn't come back. Unexpectedly, he was somewhat persistent. After being reborn, my elder sister was very busy. But she no longer focused her energy on needlework, accounting, or poetry and music. She said life is only a few decades long, and learning these things is a waste of life. She stockpiled grain, helped children, and even funded caravans to find various rare medicinal herbs. Father initially had some objections, but after long discussions with my legal mother and elder sister, he no longer interfered. As for my elder sister's marriage, according to her, in her past life, she married a young master from the Wang family. As she expected, he later reached a third-rank official position. The Wang family, just like in the past life, came to propose. I peeked from behind the screen and saw that my former brother-in-law was handsome, upright, and scholarly. But for some reason, my elder sister was unwilling this time. Father politely declined, saying he wanted to keep my elder sister by his side for another 3 years. Young Master Wang was somewhat surprised by this. Though my elder sister fancied Sia Hanwin before, she understood not to put all her eggs in one basket. Sia Hanwin was like the moon in the sky, likely unattainable. Young Master Wang was her first choice. Naturally, young Master Wang didn't only interact with my elder sister. When young Master Wang left, there was a hint of reluctance in his eyes. The next day, he invited my elder sister to meet. My elder sister burned his letter and sent a servant to convey, "Tell him I have no time to see him. Young Master Wang is a smart man. He should understand my meaning." I asked my elder sister if young Master Wang had done something in the past life to wrong her. Unexpectedly, my elder sister shook her head. "He did nothing to wrong me. He gave me the status of a legitimate wife and only took a concubine 3 years after I had no children, never favoring the concubine over the wife." But a smile played on my elder sister's lips. But later, when I fell ill and he sent me to Q City to recuperate, he didn't hesitate to marry a secondary wife. He truly did nothing to wrong me. He just always made choices that were most advantageous to him. Throughout history, men have been like this. They seem to instinctively know when to make choices that benefit themselves. I didn't have as many sentiments as my elder sister. I only heard the key word. She fell ill. My birth mother died in childbirth. And I was registered under my legal mother's name from birth. It was said my birth mother was father's childhood sweetheart. Some gossiped that my legal mother would surely spoil me. But if I could lie in comfort for a lifetime, that would be something many would envy. If I worked hard and diligently, I'd just go from being a wife of Jang or Sia or bearing fruit for others to pick. Since childhood, my elder sister protected me, and I had no great ambitions, already feeling content. I cried into my elder sister's sleeve. My elder sister said, "Why are you crying? It's not like it can't be cured. Do you know if I married Nong Fong because you died early?" My elder sister didn't expect me to be so clever and was momentarily speechless. In the end, she compromised, saying she would take good care of herself in this life, not letting herself fall ill again. I blew my nose on her sleeve, looking at her accusingly. She coaxed me for a long time, finally taking me to the largest restaurant in the capital. After a satisfying meal, she took me to choose jewelry. I wore a pea hairpin, barely managing to smile again. "Do I look good?" I turned my head and unexpectedly saw Sia Hanwin. Sia Hanwin's gaze fell on my face. Today he wore a plain white long robe adorned with a jade crown, and his black hair was meticulously combed. He looked even more exquisite and handsome than the last 2 times we met. After a moment of distraction, surprise and pride appeared in his eyes. "Chinsu, no matter how hard you try, in this life, I will not marry you." Before he could finish, I bumped into him, pushing him aside. "You're blocking the way." He stumbled but wasn't angry. He looked at me with a bit of helplessness, as if he thought I was throwing a tantrum because I felt slighted. My elder sister pulled me to her side, casting a cold glance at Sia Hanwin. "Mr. Sia, we have matters to attend to, so we'll be leaving first." My elder sister didn't want to engage with him and dragged me away. Yet looking at Sia Hanwin, a sudden burst of anger flared up inside me. Why did he get to be reborn with my elder sister? The more I thought about it, the angrier I became. Finally, under Sia Hanwin's astonished gaze, I punched him in the face. Sia Hanwin staggered and fell like a white butterfly. His hand pressed on a broken teacup, and in an instant, there was blood. But he seemed oblivious, just staring at me in disbelief. "Chinsu, how could you hit me?" My response was another heavy punch. The emotions my elder sister had just soothed erupted like a boiling kettle. Why did my elder sister die young, and did he live to a ripe old age with 3 pieces of roast pork? I eat a lot and move a lot, so I'm not just fat. I straddled Sia Hanwin and punched him repeatedly. Soon, Sia Hanwin had no time to speak. The Sia family servants were blocked outside by my elder sister and her maid amidst the chaos. After a long while, my elder sister came to pull me up. All right. Mr. Sia didn't mean it." I got up and left while Sia Hanwin struggled to call my name. His face was bruised, his hair disheveled, looking particularly miserable. But I had to admit, he had a good-looking face, which had a unique charm at this moment. Too bad, I don't like this kind of dry look. "Chinsu, do you hate me so much because you still love me? Is it love turned to hate?" I turned around and kicked him. "I don't know you well." Sia Hanwin blinked at my words, looking at me with a smile, as if he had seen through my stubbornness. My elder sister scrutinized him, a cold smile on her lips. She said, "Mr. Sia, did you receive the letter I sent from Q City?" Sia Hanwin was stunned for a moment. Then his eyes widened. He was so clever. Of course, he understood. The one who was reborn was my elder sister, not me. He finally realized I wasn't the woman who spent 7 years with him. Nor was I the Chinsu who bore him 3 sons. We were just 2 strangers now. I only felt annoyed by his harassment. My elder sister and I walked far away, and Sia Hanwin still sat dazed on the ground. That night, I had a very strange dream. In the dream, I got married. The little sedan chair swayed all the way to the Sia family. The young master of the Sia family was as elegant as a precious orchid, with a promising future. All the women envied me. Even my elder sister said I had married well. I wasn't very happy, just felt it was troublesome. But if I didn't marry, it would ruin the Chin family's reputation, affect my elder sister's marriage, and even cause trouble for my legal mother. Fine then, I'll marry. On the wedding night, the capital's most handsome man, as rumored, stood before me. I hadn't looked at him closely before, but now I saw he was indeed good-looking, just a bit too thin and pale, like boiled chicken breast, dry and tough, probably not very tasty. Sia Hanwin glanced at me coldly with his aloof eyes and said, "This marriage is not my wish. I will give you the honor of being Mrs. Sia, but don't expect anything else." Ridiculous. If it's not your wish, why didn't you make it clear to your mother? I rolled my eyes and went straight to sleep. Sia Hanwin stood by the window, surprised for a moment, then climbed into bed and slept with me. But as he slept, his hand reached for my waist. "You need to give birth to a Sia family heir soon." Just after saying he didn't like me, now he wants to have a baby with me? My elder sister often says I'm not smart enough. I really am not too smart because I can't understand Sia Hanwin's logic. Fine, it has to happen anyway. I took charge and pressed Sia Hanwin onto the bed. What happened afterward can only be described as tasteless. His bones poked me. He really was as unappetizing as chicken breast. When I forced him to comply, Sia Hanwin's face turned red, as if he wanted to say I was shameless. But on this bed, I wasn't the only shameless one. He was annoyed and ignored me for a whole 3 months. Fortunately, Sia's mother had a good eye. I was very fertile. I got pregnant right away. Sia Hanwin and I treated each other with respect. He was cold, but didn't make things difficult for me. My life was pretty good. But others didn't think so. They thought I lost my husband's love right after getting married and must be very miserable. The turning point in my relationship with Sia Hanwin was when I happened to save him from being forced to drink at a restaurant, and he repaid me with his body. Just like that, I was pregnant with our second child. The difference was this time, he took special care of me, truly like a father to the child. He also, like many fathers, had a close female friend, Chinsu, and he met under my nose to recite poetry and drink happily. I didn't mind. The first time I ran into them, I even felt a bit embarrassed. I interrupted their enjoyment. I hardly left, but Sia Hanwin seemed to misunderstand, thinking I was jealous. "You are the madam of the Sia family. You should be tolerant," he said righteously. "I am innocent with Chinsu. You shouldn't disrespect her." He apologized on my behalf to Chinsu and sent her many valuable gifts. After Sia Hanwin's mother found out, she called Sia Hanwin over and scolded him. Then Sia Hanwin blamed it on me. He came into my room late at night and tormented me. I couldn't understand. Rewarding me with this, punishing me with this too. Is this a gold-plated mace? Life went on like this. Sia Hanwin was clingy and annoying, emotionally sensitive, often showing a cold face. Our 3 children followed him. They knew their father was powerful and imitated him, striving to win his favor. Sometimes I wanted to say something, but I was always interrupted by Sia Hanwin and his mother.
Fine.
After all, they all have the surname Sia. Without me, there are still people to teach them. I thought this life would continue until the day I died. But unexpectedly, as Chinsu and Sia Hanwin's relationship grew closer, everything changed. Sia Hanwin seemed to finally make up his mind to divorce me, the wife he never liked from the start. That was really great. I felt like I had been in prison for 7 years and was suddenly pardoned and released. The day I got out, I ate 7 braised pork knuckles. The people at the next table were dumbfounded. At this moment, someone walked over smiling and said, "Miss, do you remember me? That year I almost starved to death on my way to the capital for exams. And you gave me a braised pork knuckle." I slept until the sun was high. After waking up, I carefully recalled the events in the dream. Sia Hanwin is really annoying. Wei Nongfong is really delicious. Wei Nongfong was quite impressive. He passed the exams 2 years early. On the day he became the martial arts champion, he avoided the crowd trying to catch a son-in-law and came to my house. Father was already prepared. He glanced at me behind the screen and said, "This matter also depends on what my daughter Suzu thinks." I shyly nodded frantically at my father. My elder sister pulled me out from behind the screen. When Wei Nongfang saw me, his face turned red too. One of us was dark and red, the other was pale and red. We matched quite well. I escorted Wei Nongfang to the door. As we parted, I secretly tugged his hand. It was so warm, like a freshly cooked bear paw. I couldn't help it and secretly touched his butt. So perky, even perkier than a chicken's butt. Before I could wipe the mischievous smile off my face, I met someone's eyes. Sia Hanwin was staring at me, with wide eyes. He seemed to have run over, his jade crown askew, his hair disheveled, panting heavily. He glared at me and demanded, "Chinsu, what are you doing?" Before I could speak, Wei Nongfang spoke first. "It's not like she's touching you. Mind your own business." Saying this, he put my hand, which I had just withdrawn in guilt, back on his butt. How bold! My face turned beet red. Sia Hanwin's lips trembled, and he looked like he was about to collapse. "Chinsu, have you really changed your heart? How can you treat me like this?" I ignored Sia Hanwin, and after saying goodbye to Wei Nongfang, I closed the door in Sia Hanwin's face, shutting out that lost and forlorn expression. That night, Sia Hanwin actually climbed over the wall. The dignified young master of the Sia family, who valued appearance the most, actually climbed over a wall. Under the moonlight, he stared at me unblinkingly. The bright moon hung high. The night breeze was slightly cool. Sia Hanwin said, "I should have realized it earlier. Chinsu, you don't remember me. That's why you can bear not to come looking for me for so long. You don't remember me. That's why you can bear to use another man to anger me, to treat me so harshly." I was so stunned listening to him that I forgot to gnaw on my chicken claw. I even had a braised pig's trotter hidden under my blanket. When I heard footsteps earlier, I thought it was my elder sister coming to catch me eating a midnight snack. Sia Hanwin continued, "That's fine. If you had memories of your past life, you'd surely resent me, so it's better to start over. Now, everything is still possible." The always high and mighty young master of the Sia family actually had reddened eyes. He looked at me with hope, the relief and excitement not yet faded. "In this life, let's start anew. I can marry you again, and this time we won't separate." I was taken aback and said, but I wasn't planning to marry you." Sia Hanwin was stunned in place. I sincerely said, "I really don't like you." Sia Hanwin's eyes suddenly lost their brightness. His thin lips pressed tightly together, and his face turned a bit pale. He took a few steps forward, grabbed my wrist, and shook his head, saying, "I don't believe it. In our previous life, you loved me deeply. We respected each other and had 3 sons together." I scratched my head and asked, "Then why did we end up separating?" Sia Hanwin fell silent, regret flashing in his eyes. "I was too presumptuous," he said. "I thought a wife should be knowledgeable and talented to be in harmony with me. But I didn't realize that a woman without talent is virtuous, and a woman who washes her hands to make soup and stays by her husband's side is truly living. I didn't really stay by your side. It was you who insisted on finding me, but I didn't dare say this, afraid he might cry on the spot." Sia Hanwin frowned and asked, "Did you hear something about me from your elder sister?" I shook my head, unwilling to say more to him, and instead shouted loudly for help. "Someone catch the rascal." Sia Hanwin's eyes widened in an instant. The servants came running at the sound. How could the pampered young master of the Sia family outrun a group of servants? In the end, Sia Hanwin was embarrassingly pinned to the ground. The Sia family sent many gifts to apologize. They all ended up in my elder sister's pocket, saying she'd keep them for me first. If they became part of my dowry, Wei Nongfang wouldn't get a share after we married. If he wasn't a good man, it would be a loss. I listened, confused, and nodded obediently out of habit. My elder sister sighed and said, "With your temperament, you indeed need someone with more thoughts. Anyone but Sia Hanwin." I said, "Wei Nongfang isn't very thoughtful either." My elder sister smiled but didn't argue. I didn't see Sia Hanwin again after that. I heard he was punished by his mother to reflect behind closed doors. But Shin Xiao suddenly came to find me. She still had that charming and resilient look, her oval face much smaller than mine. Miss Chin, I came to see you just to say a few words. I agreed. My elder sister only said not to pay attention to Sia Hanwin, not Shinji Shu. She was satisfied and took me to a tea house. While I cracked melon seeds, she sipped tea. When I ate mung bean cake, she sipped tea. When I ate grapes, she sipped tea. Indeed, some people are thin for a reason. Miss Chin, you're actually a smart person. You know that cousin's interest in you is just a fleeting fancy. If you agree to him, he'll soon tire of you and realize you're not what he truly wants. He wants someone who can recite poetry with him and share common interests. I looked at her in shock. She knew all this? No wonder she's a talented woman. Perhaps my amazement was too obvious, and Shinji's momentum diminished. Ahem. I'm not here for any other reason, she continued. I just want you to see this clearly and not dive in head first. Otherwise, being abandoned in a few years would be a loss. I thought for a moment and said, Do you want to marry Sia Hanwin? My straightforward words left Shinji momentarily frozen. You said Sia Hanwin isn't a long-lasting person. Why would he be for a different kind of woman? I chewed on the pastry, puzzled, and said, Besides, a cousin shouldn't interfere with her cousin's marriage, right? She's not Sia Hanwin's legitimate wife, so why is she acting like she's warning an outsider, as if Sia Hanwin already belonged to her? I suddenly realized, or are you the Sia family's chosen? Shin Xiao hurriedly interrupted me. Don't talk nonsense. My cousin and I are innocent. I was just kindly reminding you. I responded with an oh. I racked my brain to recall the dream, the outcome of Shinji Shu in the past life. In the end, I found nothing. Wei Nongfang and I went to Q City, settling in the place where my elder sister once lived. Many years later, I received a letter from the capital. The handwriting was Sia Hanwin's, but the paper was yellowed, indicating it had been written a long time ago. As for the letter's content, it roughly said that during several rainy nights he thought of me and wanted to see how I was doing, but never found the time. Pirates had come to the south, and he had to go deal with them first. If I were still around, I would have reluctantly bid him farewell and packed enough food for him. Of course, his words were a bit sentimental. Wei Nongfang felt a bit jealous after reading it, and that night he kept me busy for a long time. Along with it came a verbal message from Sia Hanwin's mother. She said it was something Sia Hanwin wanted to give me, but never got the chance to send. I vaguely realized that Sia Hanwin might have already died at that time. I slapped my forehead, suddenly enlightened. So only those who die early can be reborn? As for Shinji Shu, she must have married someone else. Shin Xiao left with a dark face. After leaving the private room in the tea house, we met again at the restroom door. She blushed, a bit embarrassed. I let out a burp. On the day I married Wei Nongfang, my elder sister gifted me 3 handsome servants. Wei Nongfang was marrying into our family, so life after marriage didn't change much, except that I ate more. After all, I was expending more energy. But unexpectedly, Wei Nongfang didn't want me to have children. He said that my birth mother passed away while giving birth to me, and he was worried. I patted my chest and told him that I might be pregnant. He gritted his teeth and asked me how I was so sure. I said that I had given birth to 3 in my dreams, but they were of quantity, not quality. Wei Nongfang then asked me with whom I had these children. I immediately shut my mouth, but he seemed to have figured it out. Perhaps he was a bit smarter than I had anticipated. This assumption was increasingly confirmed over the years. His official position rose higher and higher, much more impressive than in our past life. Some said that he had become a great general. So why should he remain a son-in-law? He should return to his family and establish his own household. That night, Wei Nongfang stood by the bed of those gossiping with a large knife. If you cause a misunderstanding between my wife and me, you'll pay with your head. After that, no one spoke again. By then, My elder sister had become a renowned businesswoman. She traveled far and wide, living the life she wanted. In this life, her body was especially healthy, unlike the past life where it was ruined by childbirth. As for Sia Hanwin, he volunteered to go to Q City. Before leaving, he came to see me. The sound of rain was pleasant. He stood under the eaves not far away, looking at me for a long time. He said that in his past life, he died in the 3rd year after we divorced. He had taken on the task of dealing with river bandits. Those bandits were about to approach Q City. He went without hesitation. Then he died by the riverside outside Q City. He never got to see me one last time. This I actually already knew. In fact, his mother had come to see me. Her son suddenly became a different person, coming to see me every day, and she naturally noticed something. She accepted the idea of reincarnation and quickly figured out what was going on with Sia Hanwin. She said her son was arrogant, and it was normal for him to stumble in love. She just didn't expect him to fall so hard. I didn't think it was tragic. There were many more people worse off than him. He just couldn't accept how freely I left. The clouds drifted and scattered. The seasons passed. Between Wei Nongfang and me, I never heard news of Sia Hanwin again.